Hi, leaders. Laura West here. I'm in my office today and I'm between clients. I actually have a little bit of time. And I wanted to come on here and talk to you about how to teach a intro to oils class because so many of you are popping and you're getting ready to teach your classes or you're starting to teach. And I've been teaching this particular class for a while now, and I'm really finding it intuitively in my flow and in my sync with it. And I've gotten so good at teaching it actually that now I'm weaving it into one-on-ones and I'm teaching it online through Zoom individually with people who live far away. So I thought I would just spell it all out for you here. I'm also going to post this in our leaders site and host it there for you to go back and review. So there's a couple of things that you need to teach this class, and it's really simple. You need your Natural Solutions booklet. Mine has my name on it here, and I've gotten all my notes that I've taken over the different styles of classes that I've taught. You're going to want to do that too because it'll help you with all your little tricks and tips to remember your transitions and stuff. So you need one of these for each person that attends your class. You can get them in packs of 10 in your back office. They don't give you any PV, but you can get them cheap. They're like $4 or something crazy like that. You need a cup of water, and you need your oil to put your peppermint in it. And you need all the oils that are inside here to teach. You need Breathe, Digesten, Past Tense, Melaleuca, Lavender, Serenity, Aroma Touch, Frankincense, Lemon. Terrazyme is also great because we talk about it here, and also it's great if you can have some lifelong vitality because it talks about it here. Okay, so, and it's also nice if you have a little bit of sample oils, just random samples that you have, and I'm going to show you why. So here's how you do this. You start the class by welcoming everybody in, and you have them all sit. Maybe you have them share their names and you have them say who they are, why they are here. Remember, you've pre-sampled them in theory. So they're coming to the class to be taught more detailed information so that they can buy their oils at the end of class. And they've already had a positive experience with their oils. So they're coming knowing they're ready to get oils with you at the end of this class. So you start out with having the introductions, just very brief, like a minute or two, not even for the entire room, because you want to get through this as fast as possible. And then you do not pass these out yet. You wait, and you will share these with them in a little bit, and I'll tell you when. So I'm just going to start to teach you, okay? Pretend you're the audience members. You've been sampled by me. You're interested in buying oils. And here we go. I'm going to say, okay, so there are two kinds of healthcare in our society. There's natural healthcare and there's Western healthcare. And in the Western healthcare, doctors are really good at opening the body, playing around with what's inside our bodies, either fixing it, taking it out, removing things, adding things, realigning things, and then closing the body back up. Or if we have a disease of some kind, Western medicine is really good at giving us medicine or antibiotics to treat the symptoms of that. Oftentimes the cause and the root of why we are ill or out of alignment is not looked at. Now, that's valid, and it's very appropriate for us to use when we have things like broken bones or systemic chronic issues or any of that kind of stuff. And we need it in certain cases. More natural medicine, on the other hand, does things like look at the root cause of things, helps to bring our body back into natural alignment. It works with our body's natural systems over a period of time, and it's done with plant-based materials, and in this case, through essential oils. So we choose to use essential oils in my family because out of all the natural medicine that's out there, teas, tinctures, dried herbs, balms, salves, all that kind of stuff, essential oils are the most effective and they work the fastest. It takes 1 drop of peppermint oil, equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea, dried peppermint tea, to be effective. So when you think about using essential oils, you just need 1 drop of the peppermint oil versus drinking 28 cups of the peppermint tea. And I always say, for my son, peppermint's great for respiratory issues. And for my child, I would have to give him 28 cups of peppermint tea in his little sippy cup before he started feeling the same effects as if I put 1 drop of peppermint oil into the diffuser or on the bottoms of his feet, and he started absorbing that or breathing it in and having the same effects. So essential oils are quick and they're effective and they're really easy to use because they're in little bottles. So why doTERRA? And by the way, I'm showing you guys all this. I'm reading right off the script, right? I'm looking at my stuff here. So why doTERRA? Well, there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, what's really important to me about this company is that it is a socially minded, social justice, economically minded company for the people and the employees who work for them. Number two, they're really good at supporting people and plant material around the world. So we have 40 different countries so far that we source our oils from, and we find our oils in the place in the world where the oil has the most high yield possible. Now, there are other oil companies out there that will say that all their oils are made in the United States, or that they're all made in one location, or they're all organic, and that is absolutely wonderful. I believe in USA made products, and I try and buy as locally made, and I also try and buy as organic as possible in my family's personal life. However, when you think about frankincense, it's grown in Somalia, and it's the most natural native place to find the best effective frankincense yield. And so if there's a farm in Idaho that's growing frankincense in the middle of the farmland here in the United States versus the place in the world where it grows the most natural, I'd rather take it from the place that grows the most natural. The other thing about our oils is that the people who live there in that community in Somalia actually get to do the farming. They get to do the growing, they get to do the harvesting, they get to do the distilling right there on site. And that's really powerful, because in most other oil companies, what you will find is that the oil company here in the United States will say to a third party, go find us some frankincense oil. And that third party is going to go out. They're called the middlemen. They're going to go out and they're going to look for people to source the oils, start working with the oils, start producing the oils. And they're going to say to them, we want you to take the oils and give them to us, and then we're going to bring them back to the company. And then the company gives the middleman all the money and says, pay the people. So what ends up happening is there's an unfair market share that goes to that middleman person or people. And then the farmers, the people who are on the ground tending and growing and providing the essential oils, make very little money, but not with doTERRA. We don't have middlemen. We as a company go right into the community and we say, we would like to partner with you. How can we come into this community and start utilizing your frankincense? Because it's really high yield and it's very powerful, and we would like to come in and start using it for our products. And then we sit down with the people who live there and we work on community-based understandings of what they need. We don't go in and say, give us all your oil from your frankincense, produce more volume, make more for us, get all of it out of the earth as much as possible. That happens in other companies. Other companies will say, we were so successful with our sales last year for frankincense, we want you to give us more this year. And so they're ecologically devastating the earth. They're taking too much product out of the ground. In doTERRA, we go into these communities and we work with the local people to say, how can we ecologically sustain and harvest this product? How can we support you in your community so that you have clean running water? We can provide you with schools. We can set up health clinics for you so that your families are cared for, so that you make a living wage, so that you have honorable lives, so that your children can go to school. And then we reap the benefits of your very high quality product. And oh, by the way, let's do it in a way that sustains the harvest. So right now, actually, as I'm talking to you all, there is a pause in the harvesting of the frankincense oil. The company has committed to stopping the harvesting of it for 1 whole year in Somalia to let the trees regrow. And they have enough in store in their headquarters in Salt Lake City that they don't have to worry about it running out. And they are committed to paying their employees, the farmers, the workers, the harvesters, the distillers in Somalia, their living wages while they're tending to the growth of the trees. It's really very ecologically and socially justice minded as a company. And that's one of the reasons why I choose to use it. And the other thing is, I forgot to get the oil, so hang on. Here's a bottle of lemon oil. When you look in the bottle, I don't know if you can see it with the reflection here. There's a good example. That's 100% pure oil. There is nothing added to our oils. In fact, we call this CPTG, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. So what does that mean? Well, I used to be one of those shoppers on the discount aisles in places like TJ Maxx or Marshalls or the grocery store, where when I would see a bottle of frankincense for $5, I'd be like, oh, what a great deal. And I would grab it and take it home for myself, not knowing anything about the efficacy or the potency or the standards for oils. And it turns out that there is no federal standard for organizing the purity and the quality of essential oils. Our government doesn't regulate that, and our Food and Drug Administration doesn't regulate that. So doTERRA came along and said, okay, well, if there's no standard, we're going to create one, and we're going to make the bar rise very, very high so that we are absolutely 100% sure that everything that's being put into our oils is only the oils itself. So we do things like 8 different kinds of testing from third parties. There's all the scientific language around the testing, and I can't tell you what it is because I don't know the words. It's, mass spectrometry, gas, blah, 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 kind of sounding stuff. But we do it with third parties to make sure that we're not skewing or fudging the results. And we are absolutely 100% committed to making sure that every single drop of oil in here is pure. That's why you only need 1 or 2 drops. Now, a bottle this size, this is a 15 ml bottle, it has about 250 drops of oil in it, and it's going to last you probably maybe a month or a month and a half if you were to use a couple of drops every single day. So you're going to go through it if you're using them every single day rather quickly, and it's a good value because the smaller size bottle, let's see if I have one. This is the 5 ml size. See the difference? And the 5 ml is about 75 drops of oil. You'll go through that very quickly. So getting back to the CPTG, let me just also say that our company is so committed to having only pure oil that a few years ago, bergamot, which is a citrus oil and it enhances the mood and uplifts our spirit, was in jeopardy of running low on its stocks. And so another third-party oil company came along and said, we've got enough in reserves, we have enough in stock that we could sell it to you. And so doTERRA said, okay, let's have it tested to make sure it's pure. And the third-party testing discovered that it was 95.9% pure. And doTERRA said, no, thank you. We're not interested. We'd rather run out of our oil than reduce our purification. And anything less than 100% is not in our interests for working with our, for our customers. So that just proves, and it's a good example of how the company is really serious about this being 100% pure oil. The other thing to note is that just this past September, when we were at convention, Emily and I were sitting in the audience when there were scientists who got up on stage and they talked about how there is now finally proof on a scientific level of other essential oil companies that are adulterating their oils, and they've figured out how they adulterate them, and they've unmasked it, and there's charts and graphs and all these crazy little, they're weird graphs, like only scientists would understand how to read them. But basically, you can now read, and scientists have shown where other essential oil companies, and we're talking about most major oil companies out there, and I'll tell you why in a minute, are adulterating their oils. And the reason they're doing this is for several reasons. Number one, it's really expensive to harvest 100% pure oil in the volume that we're harvesting it at. There's 6 million people in our oil company, customers and wholesalers, right? People like me, who's a wholesaler wellness advocate. There are the employees, the people who live in the place that are harvesting this. This is lemon oil, and it comes from Italy, I think, and Brazil, and one other place I can't remember. If any of you remember, just let me know. But we have to pay them, and we want to make sure that they're making a living wage. So it's pricey and costly to do this. So other essential oil companies don't do that for all the reasons I said before, but also they want to try and get their most bang for their buck. And so when they say 100% pure on their bottle, a tiny fraction of the oil might actually be the pure oil itself, but the rest is mostly shelf stabilizers or fillers or chemicals or perfumes or dyes. And I finally understood this when I had all my other grocery store and discount shopping store oils at home. I had a fairly sizable collection. And then I got my first set of doTERRA oils, and I unpackaged the lavender for both and smelled it. And I really started to panic because the lavender that was $5.99 off the shelf from Marshalls smelled like chemicals to me. And the lavender from doTERRA smelled like lavender. Now, at this point, I would probably take the lavender and uncap it and pass it around for everybody to smell the difference and smell how potent and pure it is. And then I would keep going with my story. So I realized that the other lavender that I had been using was not healthy for my family. I had been putting that into my diffuser for my son to aromatically breathe in at night because lavender is a relaxing oil and it helps to calm your nervous system. I had been putting it topically on my son's feet, and he was absorbing all those chemicals and all that toxicity into his body, and I felt really awful. Knowing that I had put that into his system. So I am so grateful now that I only have my pure oils. So there's 3 ways that we use our essential oils, and I'm going to teach you them. They are topical, aromatic, and internal. And now I have to pause the teaching at this point and say, you want your little box of samples with you, or your little basket of samples with you, because you're going to do sort of like a Pavlovian thing with people. You're going to do something what Steve Jobs calls bookmarking. You tell them what you're going to teach them, you teach them what you're going to teach them, and then you remind them what you just taught them. And then Elise Shedevy says you take it a step further and you reward them. So we've just passed an incredible amount of information on to people. You've talked to them about the 2 different kinds of healing that are healing systems, natural and Western. And you've talked to them about the efficacy of essential oils, and you've talked to them about doTERRA and the importance of the CPTG. And that is a ton of information for people to receive when they're first new to the oil world. For all of us who have been doing this for a while, that's nothing, right? It's no skin off our nose to say stuff like that. And it makes sense to us and it's easy peasy. But for someone who's new in this field, that's a lot of information. So you need to re-engage them now at this point. So you need to teach them about topical, internal, and aromatic. And this is how you do it. So pretend these are my samples, okay? You have your little box of samples. So I'm going to teach you now about the 3 ways that we here at doTERRA like to use our oils: topically, aromatically, and internally. So the first way is topically. That means that you can take the oil and you can put it on your skin. And we use some of the oils with carrier oil, like fractionated coconut oil, and that will help to soften it on sensitive skin or on young skin. Or we can put it directly on the bottoms of our feet. Our feet have the largest pores of our bodies, so when we're using oils topically to absorb them internally, we put them on our feet because it happens very fast. At night, it's great to put oils on our feet when we're looking at wellness protocols. Say like we're looking to try and shift any kind of respiratory blockages, we would put Breathe on the bottom of our feet, and that would over the course of the night begin to help shift us from an internal perspective. So then the next one would be in aromatic, and that's like what's happening in the diffuser. I always have a diffuser going in the background of the class. So aromatic means that you can smell the oil, or you can put it in the diffuser. So when you smell the oil, there's a couple of different ways. And this is what I would take, probably wild orange because it smells so great. You show them the trick of putting 1 drop in your hand. It's okay if you get 2 drops, that's fine. Rub it together and then cup your hands together and breathe in very deeply. Oh man, everybody try that. Doesn't that smell so good? Be careful not to touch your face because you don't want your oils to get on your skin and start to affect you. But oh, that feels so good, right? If you're using another oil besides wild orange, you could use an oil like peppermint because it wakes their brain up, and then they can rub it on the back of their neck, and their neck starts to feel cooled and soothed, and it starts to tingle throughout the class in a nice cooling way. So that's also a lovely oil to use. Wild orange, actually, as an aside, should be the oil that you diffuse in your diffuser when you're teaching because it is the oil of abundance. And also research has shown that when real estate agents, sorry, the sirens, when real estate agents diffuse wild orange at their open houses, their houses sell faster. It's just something psychological with people. It's a joyful, uplifting oil, so people are more inclined to be engaged and uplifted in your class when you're diffusing wild orange. So make sure you have this on hand. Okay, so topically, that's how we use it. We put it on our body, we inhale it. No, aromatically, sorry. We put it in the diffuser and we inhale it that way, and that's aromatic. And then the third way that we use our oils, and this is exclusive to doTERRA. Remember, our oils are so pure that some of them can actually be put in the body. They're medicinal grade. They're better than food quality oils. They're just so pure that we can internalize some of them. There are little markings on the bottles, and when you get your first kit of oils, it comes with a lovely book, and I usually will show them the book. It's on my off a shelf in the back there. You can just barely see it. But I will take it out and I'll show them the AT and I ratings, aromatic, topical, and internal. And then I'll say, you'll be able to start learning about how to use your oils so that you don't ingest the wrong kinds of oils. But when you take it and ingest it, it helps to start to work with your body internally. And that's when I have a little tiny cup of water, and I'll take it and I'll drop 1 drop of peppermint into the water for everybody and pass that around so they can all sip it. And peppermint, it's either peppermint or wild orange that you should be sampling to people, because they come both. The peppermint comes in most of the starter kits, and the wild orange is just such an amazing oil that they often will add that on as an add-in for buying as a result. So you teach them those 3, and then you say, okay, so now who can tell me one of the 3 ways that we use our essential oils? And then you just wait. And everybody has these glazed over looks on their faces, or they're happy and smiling and they're just waiting for somebody else to say it. And then someone will riskily say, the one where you put it inside you? And you say, yeah, what kind is that? What do you mean? It's the topical. And then you go, right, ding, ding, ding. And you toss them an oil sample. You have just given them a reward for being engaged with you, for remembering your information, and for sharing it with the group. So then everybody else starts to pay attention, and they start going, oh, I'll get free stuff too if I start paying attention to what this lady has to say. So then you say, what's another way that we use our oils? And then somebody else will say aromatic. Ding, 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 you're right. Good job. Glad you remembered. And you throw them the little sample of oil. And then the third way, topically, right? I don't know if I'm repeating myself because I'm teaching you guys as I'm teaching the class. So I'm thinking 2 things in my brain at once here, but you get the point, right? So then you say to everybody, okay, now I'm going to give you these booklets. And in a minute, what I'd like you to do is open it to the page that has the mom and the little girl and these boxes over here, okay? So you pass out a book to everybody and you say, please do not turn the page. I just want you opening to that top page over there. And you give them all a pen and you say, okay, so now I want you to think about your body and the systems that are things that you're interested in having essential oils support. We know that oils can support our mood. We know that oils can support our physical body. We know that oils can support things like exercise and weight management and any kind of emotional shift. So think about the different areas of your life. Do you need to be sleeping better at night? Are you having trouble with your respiratory stuff when you're in the wintertime, when you're always feeling like your body is just running low and you're getting sick a lot? What is it you'd like to start working on? I want you to fill that out for yourselves right here. What is it that you have experienced that is of some sort of state of imbalance? And what do you want to shift that into? And I'll just give you an example of what I did. This was my booklet from my first class. And so this is what I was writing down when I was thinking about this for myself. I was really tired all the time because I had a newborn at home and I wanted to be sleeping more. I wanted to be sleeping more efficiently because I was waking up a lot in the night with my son and I was feeling really groggy during the day. And as a result, I was drinking tons of caffeine, but I wanted to shift that because I wanted to get more back into balance and not be dependent on caffeine to help me stay awake. And I also had a lot of baby weight that I was looking to shift and start to release, not because I was overweight, but just because I wanted to get back to my natural body alignment. And I needed to be able to do that in a way that was safe and healthy while I was nursing. So you give them a few minutes, like 1 or 2 minutes, actually really count it out in your head, like 60 seconds, count that physically in your brain and just sit and think, because people oftentimes don't know what they want to work on in the beginning, or they're embarrassed and they don't want to write it down. And so you're just going to give them your examples. And it's nice if you give them a smattering of 3 different kinds. Give them some sort of emotional example of shift, give them some sort of physical example of shift, and give them some sort of, mental, emotional, or like weight release or sleeping or any of that, those kinds of things. So they have a sense of what to write down for themselves. And then you start talking about the oils. So they're reading along with you and you say, okay, and this is why you need these oils on hand. It's a great idea, actually, when you're teaching a class to get these 5 ml bottles of the family essentials kit with the beadlets, and then you use these in your class, and you just have them as your class kit, and you open them up and you pass them around for people to smell, because you're actually going to do that when you're teaching. So our first oil that is up right now is our Breathe oil, and Breathe is fabulous. We use it topically and we use it aromatically. We do not use Breathe internally because it's a blend of oils and some of them cannot be internalized. But what this does, it supports our respiratory system in opening the airways and helps us to maintain clear breathing. Now notice the language I'm using. That is all compliant with the FDA, and that's from the doTERRA compliance list. I have memorized this stuff over and over and over again, so start to use these as your scripts. Go to our website, our leaders website, and look up, there's a space somewhere where I've linked it to the compliance pages from doTERRA, and you'll be able to remember what to say. Everything I'm going to tell you on this page today is compliant, okay? So that's Breathe, and you're passing it around to everybody as you're talking about it. And then maybe it's a nice idea if you have a person who's helping you to co-teach while you're doing all the talking and describing, they are getting the oil off the sidebar and they are helping to pass it around, and they're collecting the oil and putting the cap back on and putting it down for you. Okay, so you're just in the flow of your teaching. So the next oil we're going to talk about is lavender, and lavender is an amazing oil because for our company, it comes from Bulgaria. Everybody thinks that Provence and France is the place where lavender comes from, and although there is provincial French lavender out there and it's very exclusive, it doesn't have the highest essential oil yield. Bulgarian lavender actually has more, so that's why we source our lavender from Bulgaria. And there's lots of great schools that have been built there so that children can go to school there because of the work that we've done there. It's really an incredibly nice symbiotic relationship with the community. So lavender is a relaxant. It is a stress reliever. It is an emotional calmer. You take it internally. You can put some drops in your water. You can put it in your diffuser to diffuse it aromatically at night or when you're stressed. You can put it on your pulse points of your neck and your wrists, the bottoms of your feet, to take it topically if you need support and you're feeling really nervous and jittery. And the only other thing that you need to know is that lavender is, for about 1% of our population, it's actually a stimulant and it's not a relaxant. So if you're starting to notice after you use your lavender, or if you're starting to notice after you've given your child lavender that they're wound up and you're feeling really like you could clean your house, or like you're not falling asleep and it's 10 o'clock at night and you're trying to use your lavender to go to sleep, chances are you're probably somebody whose lavender is a stimulant, and you should think about using it another time in a controlled way to see if you still have those same kinds of revved up feelings. And then for you, this will not be something that you use to relax. But with that said, you pass around the lavender and everybody smells it. Aroma Touch is our next oil, and Aroma Touch is lovely because it's for all things muscular related. So when we have strain or stretch or tightness or soreness, we rub Aroma Touch topically onto our body. It cannot be taken internally because it is a blend of oils that some of them cannot be internalized. And although it is really lovely smelling, and then you're passing it around, in the diffuser, it's actually best when we use it directly on the skin. And I'll give you an example of one time that I used it and I was really struck by how profound it was. It was in the summertime when it was very, very humid and hot, and I had gone to my yoga class and I actually overstretched because of the heat and humidity. I just pulled my muscles in my thighs, and when I got home, they were getting increasingly sore. So I just took a couple of drops of the Aroma Touch, put it in my palms, and I just rubbed along my thigh just while I was sitting on the couch. And then I did it again, a couple of drops, and I rubbed it along my other thigh. That's it. Maybe not even 5 minutes. And then I noticed that my thighs started feeling cool and they started tingling in a pleasant way. And when I woke up in the morning, my thighs were not stretched anymore in a painful way. It felt like they were relieved. So that's what we use Aroma Touch for. Next up is Digest Zen. This is our digestive blend. And for any of you who have ever had any kind of digestive unrest, gas, nausea, bloating, cramping, like that lady, Jamie Lee Curtis, and the Activia yogurt commercials. Okay, I had all those problems: diarrhea, constipation, all that kind of, not regular bowel movements. I never knew this about myself, but I had a whole bunch of all those issues for like 20 years of my adult life, and I just lived with it all. And it turns out when I started using Digest Zen, I wasn't as bloated. When I was putting it on, there's a couple of different ways we can use our Digest Zen oil, actually. You can take the oil itself and you can put drops along your navel, on your skin, and rub it around, and that will help to internalize right on your digestive system and start to soothe you. Or you can take the soft gels, which we have, which are amazing, and you just take them internally. You can mix the Digest Zen essential oil into your water and take sips of it throughout the day as needed. Or you can get the tabs. There's chewable tabs. They're a little bit licoricey and potent tasting. So for some people, that's a little bit intense. Myself, I don't mind them. I just chomp them like antacids, only they're natural and better for you than antacids are. But it helps to support anything digestive related that is imbalanced, and it brings you back into balance. Okay, so next we're going to talk about is Serenity. Serenity is the oil of rest. We use this oil when we need to sleep. We use this oil when we're really exhausted or we're overstimulated and we need to calm down. And actually, there's another way we use the oil, and it's partnered with an oil that we use it when we're in shock and we have high anxiety, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But Serenity is used in the diffuser at night while we're sleeping so that it's blowing into our face and we're breathing it in, and it is the most calm and restful feeling. We wake up feeling more refreshed in the morning. We have a deeper, more restful sleep when we use it at night. You can take it in soft gel form, which I often do. I'll take a soft gel at night and I sleep longer and I sleep more deeply and I wake up more refreshed. Lots of people report that about the soft gels, actually. And you can also put it on the bottoms of your feet. So Serenity mixed with another couple oils, and we can talk about them later, but there's a little protocol that we use at my house. My son mixes a roller ball full of these little sleep oils, and he rolls them on his feet, he rolls them on his neck, and we put them in his diffuser, and he sleeps through the night. It is a godsend, because when he was little, he used to not sleep through the night. When he was just transitioning into his big boy bed, he would wake up in the middle of the night. Either he would wake up because he rolled over and he was a light sleeper, or he would wake up because he didn't know how to cover himself with his blankets, and so we would have to help him. And when we started using the Serenity and a couple of his other sleepy little oils, he started sleeping through the night, and gosh, have we never gone back since, right? Our kid's finally sleeping through the night, and we love it. So that's the Serenity oil. The next oil we have is frankincense. And the term for frankincense is, when in doubt, get the Frankie out. Frankincense is amazing. We take it internally, we use it topically, and we can use it aromatically. Internally, we take a drop of frankincense every single day under our tongue, and it helps with cellular revitalization on the internal levels. It's the only oil that travels through the brain-blood barrier and can cross into your brain and support your neuroplasticity and your connectivity. When we use it topically, if you put a drop into your face cream and you rub it on your skin, it promotes more even skin tone. It promotes the reduction of fine lines and wrinkles. It helps with age spots. So for those of you who have hand care, we're always so diligent about our faces, but what about the backs of our hands? Or if you spent a lot of time in the sun as a child, you want to be putting frankincense into your lotion that's for your hands and your arms. When we use it topically or aromatically, it is a sacred, very high vibe oil, and it helps to propel us when we're meditating or when we're doing yoga or when we're sitting in prayer or we're being spiritual in any way. Put it on your chest or diffuse it in your diffuser, because it has such a sacred quality to it that it lifts us to that boosted state of spiritual connectedness. And it's just such a divine oil. It's one of my absolute favorites, actually. All right, next oil up is called Past Tense, and this is the oil that helps to relieve tension. It's a blend of oils, so we can only use it aromatically or topically, and it's nice when you have head tension, so you can roll it along your temples. If you have head tension in the front of your head, you can roll it along the back of your neck. If you have neck stiffness or shoulder tension, you can roll it along your shoulders, and it helps to relieve that and ease those feelings of stress and pounding sort of sensations if there's any tension there. It is a fabulous oil to replace our Advil or our Tylenol or any of those OTC medicines that we're looking to move away from. Next oil to talk about is Melaleuca. Melaleuca is actually tea tree oil, and it is fabulous. We can use it all three ways: internally, topically, and aromatically. I use it here in my office coupled with lavender because it is the oil of energetic purification, and it helps to take it's antiseptic, antibacterial, and it helps to cleanse things. So I use it as a spray, and I spray the room after energy sessions with clients. And when someone gets off the Reiki table, I'll change the sheets and I'll spray the tables to make it cleansed, and then I'll put new fresh sheets on. But it's also great as an internal cleanser as well. We can take it a drop internally, and it helps to cleanse from the inside out. And it's also great for our skin. If you are acne prone, or if you have rosacea or any of those kinds of skin issues that cause redness or flare-ups, you should be using a couple of drops of melaleuca in your face cream with your in your daily routines, and that will help to soften and smooth and soothe. I have to remember to go back to the Serenity for a minute, because I promised you that I was going to tell you about the Serenity and the other oil mixed together. So Serenity and an oil called Balance, which is my absolute favorite oil. And yes, I have a bottle of it here, even though we're not going to teach about it tonight. It's just my favorite oil, and I have it on hand at all times. You put Balance and Serenity together in a roller ball, and then I would say maybe like 20 drops of each, and then you fill the rest with fractionated coconut oil. And that combination of oils together is called liquid Xanax. It's for anxiety attacks or anyone who has really intense anxious feelings for a sustained period of time. And what you do is you roll it along your meridian lines. You roll it across your wrist and up your meridian lines and into the crook of your elbow on both of your wrists and both of your arms, and then rub them together. And you roll it on your pulse points of your neck, and you roll it down your chest, and you massage it in, and you inhale very deeply, and that calms you down. Okay, so back to the oils. The next oil we're going to talk about today is lemon oil, and lemon oil is fabulous. We take it all three ways: aromatically, topically, and internally. It's great in the diffuser in the afternoon when you've got your 3 o'clock slump and you're feeling really tired and you just like a cup of coffee. Couple that actually with the wild orange. Take wild orange and lemon and breathe them in. Drop them into your hands, rub the palms, and breathe in. That'll perk you right up. It's great as an internal cleanser. You should be taking a drop of lemon oil every single morning in warm water as you're waking up for the day, so that all of your internal organs are beginning to be cleansed from all of the heavy metals and chemical toxins that we've come in contact with throughout the day, right? Our environment's just full of this stuff now, and our bodies are inundated with it. We just live with these things inside ourselves. So this acts as a cleanser. And it's also a great cleanser in the home. You can mix this with vinegar. You can put it in a spray bottle with water and melaleuca. You can spray your countertops. You can wipe down your bathroom surfaces. It's really fabulous oil. We love this oil so much. So the next thing on here actually is the fractionated coconut oil. I'm not going to talk about it today because you all know it's just liquid coconut oil and it's a carrier. We mix a lot of our oils with it to roll them onto the skin so that it softens the effect of the oil as it touches the skin topically. Anybody who's sensitive with their skin, or if you're a young child or an elder, you want to be using your oils cut with fractionated coconut oil. And then the next one we're going to talk about is Terrazyme. And this is what the little pill looks like. And then you get out your little pills. Terrazyme is a very interesting product. I did not understand anything about my digestive system until I started using Terrazyme. We basically take Terrazyme as an enzyme that helps to break down our food that we're eating inside our body more efficiently, and it helps to pass it through our digestive tract more efficiently, so that we're eliminating our waste with more ease. And all of that food that we've been eating is not sitting inside our gut like sludge. So you take one of these every time you eat. And the reason we do this, even if we are the most healthy eaters, even if we have the most organic diet possible, we don't always have the ability to eat the most fresh, the most vibrant, the most enzymatically productive foods, right? So think about an apple that you pick off of a tree in an orchard and you take a bite out of it. That is the most fresh it will ever be in its entire lifespan of being an apple that's ready to eat. The second you unpick it from the tree, take it off the tree, it starts to enzymatically decompose. And so think about our apples that we buy. Even when we buy our organic apples at the grocery store, they've been picked somewhere in a field, shipped on a truck to the grocery store, and they've been sitting for how many days, how many weeks, who knows, in those bins. Then we buy them and we bring them home to our houses, and they sit for how many days, how many weeks in our houses, who knows, right? But by the time you actually eat them, they're not as enzymatically fresh. So you need your Terrazyme to be able to help break that down in your body and give you the decomposition that it's looking to do inside your body more efficiently and more completely. So along with that is our supplement system called Lifelong Vitality. And I don't have the bottles. I should get some empty bottles and just keep them and talk about them. But I'll usually try and have like one or two of the little supplement pills to show everybody what they look like. And you just talk about the three of them together. When you start to use Lifelong Vitality, this replaces all your other supplements that you've ever tried or all your other vitamins that you've ever used. This gets rid of all of that stuff in your medicine cabinet that's just collecting dust, and you use this on a daily basis. It helps you de-stress. It helps your nervous system calm down. It helps to give you more restful feelings. Excuse me. It helps to lessen your feelings of anxiety. It also helps to boost your brain function and your cognitive abilities through the EO essentials, like we get fatty acids from fish, although this is plant-based. It gives us better bone density, more calcium and nutrition and gut health and all that great stuff. So most people start to notice a difference when they take it. You take one dose in the morning and one dose in the evening. Most people on average have that happen. For some people on rare occasions, you need to just take one a day. My husband takes one in the morning. I myself take two. I take one in the morning and one sometime in the afternoon or in the evening. And then when I have my cycle, I notice that I need to take 3 doses a day because I'm just so out of balance with my cycle being so heavy. It just helps me to realign. The other cool thing about Lifelong Vitality is that this is actually the #1 selling product in our company. And if you think about that for a minute, it's pretty phenomenal. The company is an oil company, and yet our #1 selling product is not oils. It's an oil-based product, but it's our supplements. It's our nourishment, right? So the company stands behind this in such a strong way that you could try this free. Well, excuse me, you could try this for the next 30 days and use the entire thing. And at the end of the system, after you've tried it all with due diligence, give yourself some time. If you decide, no, I didn't feel anything, I didn't like it, it didn't do anything for me, then you send the empty bottles back and doTERRA refunds your money for you. And there's a way to be able to start getting the Lifelong Vitality and trying it. I recommend that you get this and try this. You have nothing to lose except feeling better, right? Everybody feels great when they use this. So just put it on your next order. And if you don't like it, you get your money back. But give it a try because it is really that valuable. So now I want you to think about what you put up here at the top of your list. All of these oils down here take care of almost 80% of our family's healthcare in a natural way. 80% of our wellness care, 80% of our aches and pains and emotions and boo-boos and cuts and scrapes and bruises and germs and all that great stuff. This takes care of almost 80% of that. Isn't it amazing? So I want you to turn the page now because this is where we start to look at specifics for what kind of oils you're going to get. So doTERRA has done us a favor. And instead of making us choose single oils that are at wholesale costs that we might want a bunch of all at once, they've curated a collection for us. And they've done it at a greater cost savings. So you're going to get one of these kits as your enrollment kit, and you're going to save even more money. So for example, this is the Diamond Kit, and this is the kit that I enrolled with personally. It's every single oil and most of the company's products. It is top of the line, very high end, and it saves you about $800. This kit is for people who are either going to go into business and they know that they want to be a mover and a shaker right out of the gates, or it's for people who really want to know that they've got every single natural solution at their fingertips right from the very beginning. So that might be for you if you're one of those people. Then in the middle here, it's not listed, but we have another kit called the Every Oil Kit. It's every single oil in the company. And again, that's for people who are wanting to know that they've got every single oil right at their fingertips to be able to use right away should they need it. This kit over here on the side is our Natural Solutions Kit. This is our middle of the road kit. It's got the top 10 oils that we just talked about on this previous page, right? It's got a couple of extras and it's got some products. And you're gonna wanna start thinking about trying the On Guard collection. This is for all of our immune boosting support. We take this every day and we don't come in contact with germs for sustained periods. We find that our reactions to everybody else's germs making them out sick for days or weeks at a time is less for us, or we don't even get sick at all. You've got shampoo, you've got conditioner, you've got the deep blue muscle rub, which is great for after you've worked out and you've got sore tight muscles. You've got a lovely little box to store your oils in. Then you've got the Lifelong Vitality, which we just discussed, which is amazing. You've got a diffuser. This is the Lumo diffuser, and it runs for 5 hours or 10 hours. So you use this one at your bedside at night. I have this one at home next to my bed. The one that we have here in the office is the pedal diffuser, and that's this one down here. It runs for 2 hours or 4 hours, and it's the workhorse diffuser, so it's a little different. This one gives you a little bit longer run time, and it's lovely. Plus, it looks really cute too. Then, if you are somebody who's more conscious of your budget and you'd like to start with more budget-friendly options in mind, you look at these 2 kits. They're basically the same kit, except the sizing is different and one thing is changed in each kit. So let me break it down for you. This is our Home Essentials kit. It is all of the top 10 oils in the 15 milliliter bottle size, so the big bottle size, and it comes with the pedal diffuser, 2-hour or 4-hour runtime. I call this diffuser the workhorse diffuser. It just is amazing. If you've got little kids, it's indestructible. Then we've got the Family Essentials kit with beadlets. It's the 5 ml bottle size of our top 10 essential oils. And then it's got these 2 little beadlets, peppermint and on guard. The beadlets are these little tiny balls, and you can smush them against the roof of your mouth and they go poof, and they burst, and they're really cool. Peppermint is great for digestion. Peppermint is great for breath freshening. It's also a coolant and a stimulant, so that it wakes you up and peps you up. And the On Guard actually is the oil of immunity, and it helps to protect our immune system if we take it on a daily basis. So that's great, actually. I give the On Guard beadlet to my son every day in his lunch. So now, as you think about these things and you think about what your needs were on this last page, I'm going to come around and I'm going to start helping you pick out the kit and the oils that you'd like to enroll with, and they'll come to you in about a week. And I will help you figure out your needs. So then, at this point, what you do is you've got a couple of other people, hopefully, that are able to help you, because if you've got 3 or 4 or even 5 people in a class for yourself, that's a long time that they're all waiting to have help from each other or help from you. So you've got other wellness advocates that are supporting you, and they're able to talk one-on-one, and you help determine for people what they're working on and what kit's right for them. And this is when you offer them the book, the Essential Life book. You give this to them to look at in the class, and you tell them that they will get a copy of this book when they enroll with an enrollment kit when they're at the class with you. And then they can walk out of class with the one that they're looking through. But you give this to them to start looking through as they're waiting to discuss with you which kit to enroll in. And it's a nice time filler for them. And they can also start researching other oils and other products that are in the book. And so you also need to make sure you have enough of these on hand. Get them from Oil Life. It's the company that makes them. It's Elise Chedevy's company. And sometimes look out for discounts, because she'll do like bulk discounts where you can get them for $17.99 a piece. They normally retail for $27.99. So when they're $17.99, it's a great cost savings. Then the only other tip that I have for you is that when people are ready to enroll, you have 2 choices for enrollment. And I will just show you the 2, and then I'll tell you what I like doing best. You can take them through the paper-based enrollment at the end of the booklet. There's the one to be a wholesale customer, and then there's one to be the wellness advocate if they know they want to do the business with you. So one time I was teaching a class, and there was a woman who said, I really want to do the oils, but I don't get paid until next week, and I'd like to be able to purchase them. So we had her fill out her essential oil order paper-based, and her enroller saved this information until the following Friday when her paycheck was cleared, and they had pre-agreed that the enroller was going to fill in all of this information and place her order for her, and it ended up working. The other way to enroll people that I find really easy and valuable is to just bring my laptop. I'm talking to you all right now from my laptop, and I pop them right onto my website, and I take them right to my doTERRA shop, and I put them through the motions. I go through all the screens with them. I help them get their kit right away. They get their customer number. It takes less than 10 minutes. We go boop, 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 done. And then they walk out of class already enrolled, knowing what they've purchased and feeling really great about themselves, and they get to leave with a book full of all kinds of information And also, please don't forget to tell them that when they get enrolled through your organization, they become part of the larger umbrella organization of our Divine Lotus Essential Oil team. And you're going to put them through a 2-week email course. And when you put them through that, they get what is it that they get? There's so much. They get ebooks, and they get videos, and they get the top 10 oils and 15 ways to use each of the top 10 oils. And it's just fabulous for them. And that is how you teach an essential oil basics class. I hope you found this information valuable, and I hope that you look back on it and study it and use it and it works for you. Bye.